welcome to the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson. Joining me today, Pikeville City Commissioner Kimberly May Downey. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure for you to join me today. Now let's talk a little bit about Kim May Downey first. We're going to introduce you to our audience that may not know you very well, and tell us a little bit why. Now, you were appointed as a Pikeville City Commissioner not so long ago, so we'll talk about why you're so passionate too about the City Commission.
Well, I joined the commission as an appointee selected by the commissioners in September, and I'm delighted to be a part of the City Commission, to be a part of the decision making and to work with the community leaders to try to make Pikeville the best it can be. And it's just been a delight for me and my family to be a part.
Yeah, you and your family have lived in Pikeville for a number of years.
Well, I'm kind of a history buff, and I like to do all that genealogy stuff. So the May family, my family, has been in Pike County since about 1780.
Wow.
So we've been here for a while. We've been here for a while. But my father and my grandfather were both attorneys here, and my great-grandfather was also an attorney. So I guess it was just natural.
It's in your blood.
I became the first female attorney in my family, so that's my claim to fame.
Well, I know that you enjoy so much, and talking over the last few months with you, being on the commission, and you have such a passion for projects that we do and have brought certainly a different voice to the commission that we haven't seen in a while. First, let's talk about some great events that are upcoming for the city of Pikeville. I know that you are so excited to be part of many of those projects, but when we talk about the 2D section of downtown, that is 2nd and Division Street, lots of things going on there, especially for April 28th weekend.
This weekend, April 28th, we will be having Derby Days, and it starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday and it runs through 4. There'll be lots of activities going on. There'll be games. I think they're going to do some balloon art for kids. There's going to be some crafts for kids. There'll be some specialty foods prepared, some specialty drinks related to the Derby celebration.
Right.
And we hope everyone will come out and just make a great day of it.
Going to be a lot of Derby deals, so to speak, with some of our merchants downtown too.
Right. Our downtown merchants are working with our Main Street program, and they're going to run some specials in their stores during that day, during those hours. So it'd be a great time to come in and do a little shopping.
Yeah, you mentioned there were going to be activities for kids too, so this is not just an adult event.
No.
We always include the kids when we have events go on in the city. Balloon art, horseshoes, a noodle pony craft, very interesting, but also going to be a number of games and certain features over the week, over that certain day.
Right. The focus, of course, is the Kentucky Derby, and everything kind of revolves around that. There will be special photo props and things, so bring your friends, bring your family, be a little goofy, and just
wear a
enjoy
hat.
the day. And wear your derby.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
wear your best hat. Spring Fling, I know that's something we get really excited about. Coming up May 26th, lots of different activities go on during that time.
Certainly going on during that time. A lot of our downtown merchants will also use that time to run special promotions and sales. There'll be some special activities going on, some games and crafts and things. By that date, they will have already started a special mural that's going to be done on the frontage of Jenny Wiley Theater. And the final choice of that mural, I think it has been decided, but I will say I haven't yet seen it myself. But looking forward to that. And it's all a part of that 2D revitalization project.
The 2D project is something that a lot of people are really excited about because Main Street took on that project as they did the first side of town, I'm going to say from the expo to the right. And then this section is from the courthouse, Division Street, the new Justice Center. There is a large piece of property there, some green space that we're working to get revitalized, and certainly the businesses. And Jenny Wiley is a big part of that in that area.
Right. The city is trying to work with the Administrative Office of the Courts to get permission to do some special streetscapes in that area between the green space beside of the courthouse. Not Division Street. I had someone ask me if there was going to be a creek running down the street, and that's not part of the plan. It's in the green space, and there will be an amphitheater, and then kind of a history lesson on the Leviza Fork and the cut through project, and there'll be like a shallow stream that will run to a children's water feature that'll be fun for kids to play in.
A lot of people have not been able to see the renderings of what the vision for that section is, but we have seen it a little bit. Philip Ellswick, Pikeville City Manager, has had it on his show, and it's really a gorgeous space. So we really look forward to the beginning of that project once everything is completed. June 1st will be an event that a lot of people have gotten excited about over the last couple of years, and we want people to know that there is space available, and that is the Dinner in White.
Dinner in White. It is absolutely beautiful. It kind of reminds me of a Gadsby party.
Yes.
Because it's so elegant, but it's right downtown in the middle of the street. And as evening comes to downtown Pikeville with all the street lights coming on, it's absolutely beautiful. There's a big crowd. Everyone's invited. If you want to reserve a space, you can contact Minta with the Main Street program. There are tables and individual seats that are available, and Minta with Main Street can help them.
Yeah, if you are interested in booking a space or buying tables, it's $25 for a single person, and then $200 for a table of 8. So if you and a group of friends want to get together to split the cost, you do bring your own food, which is really, really interesting and fun. And we have a lot of different people and merchants downtown, restaurants downtown that will cater into that event. So it is a lot of fun, and one of the most beautiful events I think that we have.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
And so much fun. Getting back to our streetscape project for just a moment, the Gateway Park, the amphitheater, you mentioned there would be a history lesson really for when we rerouted the Leviza Fork around Pikeville. Certainly something that many people who come to our area are amazed by how that happened. I still have lived here for a number of years and still think, oh my goodness, this really happened here. So that will be there. There's going to be a park. And you mentioned Jenny Wiley Theater, but on that plaza there are going to be some other structures there.
Right. There is going to be a new frontage entry, a steel structure that kind of gives an entry to Jenny Wiley Theater. And there are some places that are going to be where we could display artwork, or it can be a place to sit. Another advantage of that development, Jenny Wiley brings in a lot of students to see productions. And sometimes it's hard to manage those kids and school buses and stuff. And this gives us a little better pathway for those children to enjoy the theater.
Yeah, just recently I got to take my little one to see Camp Rock at Jenny Wiley, one of their spring productions, over the course of Hillbilly Days and going into the weekend. And it really is amazing to me every time I see our kids perform that come from all over our region to Jenny Wiley, and the number of people who go take in those plays is astounding. And we're so thankful to have Jenny Wiley Theater, that portion of Jenny Wiley Theater, located downtown.
Right, and in the month of May, I think they have 2 new productions. One that I'm very excited about is the Millionaire Quartet. And the Millionaire Quartet is based upon a real event that happened in the 50s in December of, I think, 1956 in Memphis, Tennessee at Sun Studios. And there were 4 up-and-comers who just happened to be in the studio that night, and someone had the forthright to turn on the sound system, and they recorded an event that included Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, and Elvis Presley. And this theater production, this musical, is based upon the events of that night.
Wow.
And so I'm very excited to hear that music of that genre, that time. And I think it'll be a great production for Jenny Wiley.
No doubt. Certainly bringing so many different diverse plays to our area and something for everyone.
Everyone.
It doesn't matter what age you are, there's always something for you to see at Jenny Wiley Theater, and certainly we're excited about the upcoming months with the theater, and of course at their other property, which has been there for years and years and years, the amphitheater in Prestonsburg, always a big hit for the summer.
Right. We are blessed that our theater here in Pikeville allows Jenny Wiley to be a year-round production.
Right. Been a part of our region for a long time, and certainly we hope that it is for years to come. One other thing that is coming, I'll say, area that is coming to downtown, there are going to be beer and bourbon gardens at Dueling Barrels, which we hope will be open midsummer. Spoke to a few people this weekend, and they're working feverishly to get that structure done. Amazing facility, no doubt, but there's going to be some added structures, added space to that area.
Space. It's going to be a place to sit and mingle, and the design calls for some landscaping and some seating, like picnic tables kind of stuff, but there's a lot of ironwork, beautiful, beautiful ironwork in that design, and it will just add to the aesthetics of our downtown.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a great event. I had the opportunity to visit there over Hillbilly Day weekend, so really pleased, and we're just eagerly awaiting the announcement of the opening for Dueling Barrels. Tourism really kicking off right now. Whypikeville.com is the tourism website, and lots of different things to do. We've mentioned Jenny Wiley, Next to Normal, $1 Million Quartet coming, but also we want to talk about the Pikeville Mini Park. I know that's near and dear to your heart, and it is getting a complete overhaul, so to speak.
Right, right. Shortly after I came on board to the commission, the decision was made that equipment that's there is kind of dated and needs to be replaced, and we were going through that process. and it kind of came about. I ran into a young man who asked me what a city commissioner did. And I was trying to explain it, and I told him, well, we do parks for children. And I said, we're getting ready to start a park. And I said, what would you like to see in your park? And he told me he wanted monkey bars. Oh. And after that conversation, I was getting in my car, and I thought, why are we trying to decide what these children need for their playground?
Right.
They know exactly what they want for their playground. So we have been working with Paula Pugh at Pikeville Elementary, and the kids have taken a big part in deciding what they would like, and we're going to use some of their plans, and we're going to submit them out for bids, and they're joining us in this project, and it's just been a delight to have them involved and on board with this.
If you really want to know what kids want, just ask them. They'll tell you.
Oh, they don't mind telling you.
No, they don't. And they often have some of the best ideas if you just will sit back and listen. And they'll, like I said, they'll tell you exactly what they want and really how to do it if you listen.
You know, they were adamant. They wanted an all-inclusive park. They wanted a place for small children and a place for big kids, and they wanted to make sure some of the playground equipment was just for small kids, but there was some for big kids too. So they've been just, they've been so purposeful in picking and choosing what they think would make a great playground for them.
Well, we're certainly thankful that the commission is listening, and I look forward to seeing what the park looks like when it's all completed. So many things going on in the city of Pikeville. Of course, whypikeville.com, visit pikeville.com websites that people can visit to see what is going on. 5Ks are coming. The Expo Center is full of events coming up. So you can find all of that online. But I want to give you, as we come to a close today, one final thing that you would like our viewers and our listeners to know about the Pikeville City Commission and their vision.
Oh, wow. I think what I want people to know about our Pikeville City Commission is that it's their city commission. And that we want to hear from them, you know, good and bad. It's always nice to hear the good, but we need to know if there's something that needs to be changed or fixed. And we are available, and we want to hear what people want. Everyone wants Pikeville to be the best it very well can be. And so I think that's very important. They know that we are their city commission.
And their voice. Certainly, we've always talked about the transparency of the commission, and everything that the commission does, that has never changed and certainly will not. Kim May Downey, Pikeville City Commissioner, thanks so much for taking the time to join me today. I know that you will be back with more great topics for us to discuss in the future, but I really do appreciate your time, and I know our city does as well.
Thank you for having me.
This has been the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. I'm Jill Fraley Dotson. Joining me today, Pikeville City Commissioner Steve Hartsock. Good day, sir.
Happy to be here, Jill.
Happy to have you sit down for a little bit and talk to us about some things going on with the Pikeville City Commission. I know that every commissioner has their one love, and I know that our fire department, our police department, our first responders are near and dear to your heart.
Very much so.
So we're going to start out today talking about the enormous effort put forth by our first responders during our most recent Hillbilly Days Festival. Amazing, amazing protection.
They absolutely do a wonderful job in this city during Hillbilly Days. But what people got to remember also, just because there's a festival going on, we still have our everyday calls that they have to take time to run and here and run there, and they just do an excellent job at keeping up with both.
They certainly do. Our Pikeville Police Department has certainly, over the last couple of months, really been dealt the hardest blow possible with the loss of Officer Scotty Hamilton. But really, the community support for both the police department and Scotty's family has been something that, unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yes, Jill, the outpouring of support through the whole community, and just not this community, surrounding communities, it has been excellent. And I know the family appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Some of the other things coming up with the Pikeville City Police Department, they have a drug investigation unit that really works overtime.
Right. They do. We have certain individuals on the police force that do cases like this. But I've always said the most important thing about the drug problem around here is get everyone we can involved. That is the public. And if you do not want to get involved personally, find me, find any other commissioner, give us the information, and we'll relay it to the right sources.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard if people see something happening, they're afraid or they don't know who to contact. The good thing is that if you just find an officer, stop by the police department, or like you said, visit with one of your city commissioners, you'll take that information and get it into the right hands.
We will be sure they get it, because if it's going on in your neighborhood, you know what goes on in your neighborhood, come to one of us, tell us, and we will be glad to get that taken care of.
Absolutely so. Something else our police force does, and I've been so involved in the last little bit in, is the safety of our Pikeville Independent School System. I know Commissioner Reed and Chief Edmonds are working very closely with officials to keep both of our schools within the city limits safe. And they had a training recently for the teachers.
They did. They had an active shooting trainer. We don't like to talk that subject, but we know what goes on in the country anymore. It's sad but true.
Right.
So they work closely. I tell everybody, if you see a police car at one of our schools, don't be concerned, be thankful.
Absolutely.
Because they're there on a daily basis, and I love seeing the kids get involved with our police officers, and they love it also.
They certainly do. I know some of the people who went through that active shooter training were, they know they're going to go through training, but they do not know what to expect.
Right.
And they were so thankful that the officers came in and simulated exactly what can happen in those events.
It gives the faculty there at the school to know what the police are going to do when they arrive on the scene. Because a lot of times it's so hectic, you don't know what to do. But when you practice this and do the drills that our police officers do with the schools, it makes everything work that much smoother.
Certainly does. Officers, as you said, if you see a police car at the school, don't be scared, be thankful. And the mornings are when you can see the presence of our Pikeville police force.
Yes, they're there on a daily basis working with everyone, getting them in and out safe. And the kids just knowing that they're there.
Yeah.
I think that they really enjoy being there. But the kids knowing they're there is a big benefit for everyone.
Right. And it gives them such, and I know being a former employee of the Pikeville Independent School District, it gives us comfort. It gives the faculty comfort, it gives the students comfort in knowing that they're there and they're being protected. And they love seeing them walk the halls when they bring the dogs in. They love to see that too. So it really is, and as a parent, it gives you so much comfort in knowing that our officers are there, that
Yes.
they're on site, and it helps our children to know not to be afraid of the
Not
police
to be
officer.
afraid of them. That's their friends, and just, you mentioned the dog. They love the dog.
The dog
They-
is
the
a
dog
hit.
can get through to them faster than we can.
Absolutely
But
so. The dog is always a hit. Now, we are seeking applications for new officers for the
We
Pikeville
are.
PD.
We're going in the very near future. We will be hiring 2 more new police officers, and we want everyone to know that you can apply online at pikevillekentucky.gov. So anyone interested in doing that, whether you're certified or non-certified, we encourage you to apply
Yeah,
and be part of the
absolutely.
team.
Absolutely, and it is a tremendous,
It's a tremendous
team. Let's talk a little bit about the fire department.
Fire department.
Fire department, some of our favorite guys are in the
Oh,
fire
yes.
department, and they have an ISO rating of 2, very high rating, and we're certainly thrilled with that.
Yes, Jill. A lot of people got to understand that ISO rating, that determines what we're going to pay for our house insurance and stuff like that. We all like to save money. So them guys working as hard as they do, that is why we get to save money. And, you know, besides just saving money, that means you're getting great fire protection.
And we all want the great fire protection, certainly, like you said, adjust the cost of our homeowners insurance and where you're at, so we appreciate that. Also, we have a new ambulance.
We have a new ambulance. The company that made this ambulance, the neat thing about this is our fire department got to have a lot of input on it. So that is just a great, you know, project for them to work on, because who better to know about the ambulance than the people that use it. And we're just tickled to death that they got to do this.
Yeah, you mentioned they got to have input into the way that ambulance was constructed. It's developed what they call a Pikeville
Pikeville
package.
package,
Yeah,
yes.
and the design incorporates features that our firefighters, like you said, suggested. So a customizable piece
Yes.
of equipment for them.
Yes, it was a nice gesture for them to ask for input
Yeah.
through firemen, EMS workers, and we're just tickled to death with it.
Again, who better to ask than the people who use it on a daily basis
Right,
and know
they
what their
they
needs
know
are.
what they need and how one should
Absolutely.
be designed.
Fire department also has a little bit of a new look. If you look around town, you'll see
Yeah.
see them a new look. Certainly, I saw it during Hillbilly Days. So they have some nice new
The
shirts
new
that they're wearing.
uniforms, yes, they're. We just don't want them to work hard. We want them to look good also.
Right.
So, and they love it. I talked to several of them that they really love the uniforms. They like the fit of them, the comfort of them. So they really look good on them. They got
Really-
the Pikeville emblem on the back and their name, their title. They really look good.
They do look good, and you have to be progressive even when it comes to your attire when you do the uniforms. It's not the uniforms of the past, and certainly they need to have a lot of mobility and need to have a lot of function, and certainly these do. 911 dispatch, seeking grants for new equipment, radios, and further enhancing our communications. Always important to keep that up to date.
Yes, Jill, our 911, our equipment, radios and all that, they're in great shape. But with new technology, the way it goes from day to day, actually every day, we want to keep up with everything goes on, because when they arrive on scenes, the most important thing is communication. And I believe with doing this, keeping up, we will stay up to date with the rest of the country.
Certainly so. And like you said, it's not that our equipment is at all out of date or not
No,
working
not at
properly.
all.
It's just one more way to be progressive in keeping our
Keep up
community
with
safe
it, yes.
and staying on top of things. The community outreach that the commission does and our EMS, our fire departments, our police department does is just tremendous. And one of the first things that I think about that they do are providing school supplies.
School
So let's talk a little
supplies.
bit about that project.
They have all kinds of projects going on, our fire departments and police departments, to raise money. And one cool thing about it is when they purchased the school supplies, it was for the whole county.
Right.
Because we just don't look at kids here, we look everywhere, and they have abundance of things going on, like our haunted trails, the shop with the first responder. All this coincides together where we all know it takes money to do those things, and these guys give up a lot of their time to go out here and to raise that money themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the wonderful thing about it.
It really is. And when you see those supplies being given out to, like you said, it's not just for the city schools kids. It's
Right.
it's for all of Pike County. When you see those school supplies being handed out,
Yes.
and what kid doesn't love school supplies? You
Right.
know, I mean, even I as an adult think
Yeah.
that when school supplies come around, when I see them in the stores, I'm like, oh, this is a great
That's
thing.
right.
But when you hand them a backpack full of supplies, the enjoyment and the delight that they have is really, it's very humbling.
Yes, and it takes some burden off parents
Yeah.
that don't
Oh,
have a
yes.
lot of money, because things like that are expensive, and what better way to help someone than to help their child?
Absolutely, which leads me to shop with a first responder. One of my absolute
They love
favorites.
that, don't they?
Purchase Christmas gifts for the kids in the city. You mentioned the Haunted Trail. And something else we have are our drag shows that are coming. Going to start very soon.
Yes, very soon.
Proceeds from that go to help some of those events as well. But the one thing I do want to talk about, I love the name of this: Cops and Outlaws Car Show.
Yeah. You know, Andy Linton does a tremendous job in that Riverfield with all these events. And I can't wait to see all the police cars. There's going to be several cars down there just for the kids to come look at and be part of. They will have a great time with
They
this.
certainly will. That
Yes.
event's going to take place on May 11th and
May
12th, like
11th,
you said.
yes.
Several cars, police cars, and a portion of the proceeds will also go to the Brinley Hamilton Scholarship Fund. That would be Scotty Hamilton's young baby girl.
Precious daughter.
Precious daughter. So we definitely want to take care of her. When we started today, I knew that the EMS, Pikeville Police Department, Fire Department, everything, that's something that's near and dear to your heart. But you're entering your second year
Right.
as a Pikeville City Commissioner. Had never been in politics before,
Never.
to my knowledge.
Always interested, just never did it.
Never did it.
No.
Certainly took the plunge. And I want to talk a little bit about your role as a commissioner and why you felt it was so important for you to step up and and throw your hat in there.
Well, Jill, you know, a lot of people see me in town. I've had a lot, jobs down in town working. I'm out with the public a
Right.
lot, and every event I love going to. Even before I was commissioner, I like to attend all of our events here in Pikeville, and there's a lot of them. So
Absolutely.
when I talk to people and just get interested in it, that's what got me thinking, why don't I try it? So that's why I threw my hat in the ring and run.
Yeah. What's been the most enjoyable thing maybe that you've been a part of, and then also something that you didn't expect to be as a commissioner?
Yeah, I would have to say just the everyday problems in town. When people come to me with something in their neighborhoods, something's went wrong, and they want to change something. It may not seem important to everyone, but if it's in your neighborhood, it is important.
Absolutely.
So I love helping just people deal with problems like that.
Yeah.
So
As we've talked before, there's always transparency with
Always.
City of Pikeville and the Pikeville
Always.
City Commission. I know you and Kim and Bob and Patrick and certainly Mayor Carter
Yes.
and City Manager Philip Ellswick all take a lot of pride in getting together
We
at
do.
those meetings, either if you're in closed session or if it's an open meeting, to do what is best
Right.
for the citizens of the City of Pikeville.
you can't do the popular thing when you make decisions. You try to please as many people as you can, but you got to do what's best. Sometimes that hurts, sometimes it works out for the best, and that's what you got to base decisions on. Is what's best for the most people.
Certainly something that is a massive undertaking, and I know that you all enjoy your jobs and take a lot of pride
We do.
in serving on the commission and certainly with the residents of the City of Pikeville. Steve, thanks so much for stopping by
Oh, I'm
today.
Glad to be here.
We'll get together another time and let you update us on some things that are near and dear to you as a commissioner and some things going on around the city. But like you said just a few moments ago, there's always something to do.
Always.
And the summer months, with the summer months coming and things turning green, as we say,
Yes,
there's going to be a lot of fun things to talk about.
Looking forward to it.
Steve Hartsock, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. Thank you so much for joining us.